Fantasy Footballers Sunday Live.
Hey everybody, it's Sunday, and it is indeed football time. What's up everybody? I'm your host today, Mike the Fantasy Hitman Wright from the Fantasy Footballers Podcast. Thank you for joining me this fine Sunday morning, afternoon, depending on where you live or reside. Maybe it's the night. Maybe you're somewhere else in the world. But hey, it's week one. We made it. We are here. That's the good news. The bad news is week one is not supposed to be this exciting on Sunday Live, where we are going to tilt our faces off because we have a whole bunch of news, and there's nothing we can do about it except react, make some moves. I've had to make some moves in the League of Record as well. Hopefully those go through as I hope they will. But if you've never joined us for Sunday Live, here's how it works out. We take a look at all the news. We kind of try to react to that. Then we jump into questions from the website because all of our rankings are available right now, thefantasyfootballers.com. We got a cool start-sit tool up there, which you can put in, player X versus player Y. We give you a bunch of the analytics that we're using to help make our decisions on the projections. Or if you want to be a beautiful supporter of this show, jointhefoot.com. It is our Patreon. That start-sit tool does, in fact, unlock to be, boom, the Quattro, the 4-box. 4 players, start-sit, however many times you want to say it. But those are live right now. But what we do on the website is on the start-sit questions, we track who is trending right now because frequently throughout the season, a couple players become the hot button guys to talk about. And as much as I wish I could answer every single question, I mean, if you're in the chat right now, what's going on, everybody? Like Curtis James, I see you in there. It's impossible for me to get to everything. That's why we have the rankings on the website. But like I said, we track the trending players. We try to hit those. And then we jump into questions directly from y'all watching the stream, spending this time with me, which, again, I really, really do appreciate it. I'm trying to remember how to do this show. So let's get into the news.
The big picture.
All right. Here we go. Joe Burrow's in. All right. That's some fantastic news. Okay, let's get into the bad news. Zach Moss will be out for the Indianapolis Colts. That puts Deion Jackson as a interesting low end, kind of more of a desperate type of a flex start. Kendre Miller did not recover in time this time. He's been so fantastic at recovering and yet so fantastic at re-injuring himself, unfortunately. The rookie running back for the New Orleans Saints, he will be out. And that puts Jamal Williams in a very, very strong situation for the Saints today. Cordero Patterson will be out for the Atlanta Falcons. He will not be playing that new Joker position today. Expect a lot of Bijan Robinson. That's what I'm expecting. Jeremy, everyone's saying whoa in the upcoming channel. Can you let me know what is going on? Because I don't want to miss any news.
That might be related to me bumping your vocals up a bit. We'll see.
Oh, okay. Whatever. Hey, I'm louder for everybody. Good. Devon Achane, rookie running back for the Miami Dolphins. He will not be suiting up. He's still recovering from that injury. Raheem Mostert looking like a very strong start. Savon Ahmed looking like, I would probably pick him up just in case. There is a chance that this is a fully split backfield between Raheem Mostert and Ahmed. I would pick him up. Would I play him? Maybe if I'm really, really desperate. Ramondre Stevenson, he had that stomach bug, it turned out, but he is expected to play this afternoon. Breece Hall is expected to play. It's a Monday night, but we did get a report this morning that Dalvin Cook is expected to see the majority of the carries for the New York Jets. They're going to be taking their time with Breece Hall, but we will see. Cooper Kupp was, in fact, placed on the IR. I believe we covered that on the show. That sucks. Marquise Hollywood-Brown of the Arizona Cardinals, he was getting in some limited work with that hamstring. He's going to play. Adam Thielen, I made it to the stadium, everybody. It's me, Adam. So he's going to play, but I'm not going to really want to play Adam Thielen. Romeo Doubs, Green Bay Packers. So he is expected to play. You know, we had the Wednesday limited with the hamstring. Christian Watson is out, but we are getting reports that Romeo Doubs may be on a snap count. So where you took him? Oh!
Breaking news.
See, I thought there was something.
There was. Apparently, Rashad Penny is a healthy scratch.
What?
Yes, sir.
Wow. Oh, God. Cool. DeAndre Swift, everybody. Is it gonna? It'll of course happen this year when I. Oh, okay. Well, Kenneth Gainwell and DeAndre Swift. They're gonna be very useful for fantasy football. We'll have to adjust the rankings after this. Devontae Parker for the Patriots not expected to play. Jerry Jeudy is listed as questionable, so that Marvin Mims upside shoot for the stars play this afternoon. It's still in question. Mark Andrews out. So he's not going to play today. Mark Andrews of the Baltimore Ravens, he was getting in some limited practices, and then he gave us the quote of, God willing, I will be out there. Well, apparently God does not want Mark Andrews to play football today because he will not be out there. Isaiah Likely, his name has been mentioned quite a few times on this podcast as a pretty solid backup option. Now, let me look at my rankings here real quick. So, guys like I would play Tyler Higbee above Isaiah Likely. Personally, I would play Gerald Everett, my start/stream of the week at the tight end position. I would play him over Likely. We've seen Likely come in and be excellent while Mark Andrews has been out. However, they didn't have this good of wide receivers when that situation was going out. So Jeremy's saying we will. He's
definitely trending. So we'll be talking about him shortly.
All right, George Kittle will be playing. It's a little bit sketchy. Zach Ertz is back for the Arizona Cardinals, destroying my Trey McBride dreams. And the other big one, Darren Waller, because I don't know what happened between the draft and now, but apparently the universe decided that we can't have our good tight ends. Like, the tight end position is just so bad that we're going to take away any advantage that people had with the big tight ends missing time. But Darren Waller, I expect him to play. It was tightness in the hamstring, not necessarily a huge problem. Reports have been very positive about him playing. The way that I'm handling this, though, is, look, it's the Sunday night game. If I have Darren Waller, which I do, I love Darren Waller this year, I'm waiting. I'm sitting on it. And if there is a surprise this evening that Darren Waller is not going to play, I will put him into my IR, and then I will pick up either Dawson Knox or Tyler Conklin for Monday night's matchup. I don't want to drop one of the players that I drafted to see if they could do something this week early. So that's how I'm personally handling the Darren Waller situation. Jeremy, we got the trending players ready?
We do.
All right, let's go.
He's so hot right now.
All right, again, the way that this works is thefantasyfootballers.com, where the rankings are right now, which you can go check those out. The start-sit tool is being used by you fine people out there. We'll see who we're tilting about. Hit me.
All right. We'll start off with Isaiah Likely, since we teased that out.
Sure.
Did you already mention Gerald Everett?
I did.
Okay.
I would play Gerald Everett over Isaiah Likely. Again, and the reason being, I like Likely, but we know that at least last year, teams were just able to beat up on the Houston Texans on the ground. And JK2L is going to have a fantastic week. And like Zay Flowers, OBJ, who had his own little ankle shake-up this week, but he's good to go. Rashad Bateman is good to go. These wide receivers were not around when Isaiah Likely was filling in for Mark Andrews, so I think that there's I don't see Isaiah Likely is a top 5 option this week. I don't see it that way. Still a top 10 option, but I would play Gerald Everett because I'm searching for that touchdown. Who's next?
All right. How about Juwan Johnson?
So I have Juwan listed slightly ahead. I think that will be a better matchup. You got the Saints taking on the Tennessee Titans. Juwan Johnson last year was a touchdown machine. Reports of Derek Carr connecting with Juwan Johnson, they were talking it up a lot this offseason. I lean Juwan Johnson by just a little bit, but if you want to go likely over Juwan, I don't think that's wild.
All right, what about Greg D?
I would play Isaiah Likely over the second-string tight end for the Denver Broncos. Look, give that – Likely at least will be the starter. Now, for the Denver Broncos, is Greg Dulcich going to run far more routes than Adam Troutman? It's certainly possible, but it's also possible that Adam Troutman is on the field a ton more than Greg Dulcich. It's possible that when they get to the red zone or the goal line that maybe Greg D's not there. We don't know yet. I have more confidence in Isaiah Likely than I do Greg Dulcich this week. Who's next?
There it is. I was like, I know we had one more. All right, last one for Isaiah Likely. The Muth or Isaiah Likely?
Okay. So the Muth his matchup stinks. He gets the San Francisco 49ers. We get to see if the efforts to rebuild the offensive line for the Pittsburgh Steelers can match up with the golden boy who is just leaving trails of money everywhere he goes, Nick Bosa. And, I mean, also a wreckage of quarterbacks in his path as well. I think that if I needed real upside, I would go with Isaiah Likely. If I just need a steady option, I would go with the Muth. And that's wild. People are asking about, like, you drafted the Muth to play him. And then you're like, ooh, but I see this Isaiah Likely guy on the waiver wire. No. I mean, if you got to shoot for the stars, maybe go with Likely. But I'm not, like, if I have the Muth, I'm not dropping someone from my bench to pick up Isaiah Likely. I'm just, unless you're just the most bitter, spiteful person against whoever in your league has Mark Andrews, and you're just trying to put the kibosh and put the block on. But I lean the Muth for the floor.
All right, let's move over to the wide receiver position. We got a lot of questions coming in about Jahan Dotson.
Play him.
Okay, do you play him over Mike Evans?
Oh, so this is a question of, so Mike Evans should be theoretically in either a potential shootout with the Minnesota Vikings. Their defense, I believe, is going to remain near the bottom of the NFL, just like it was last year, especially in the secondary. So you have the ability that this could turn into a shootout. Meanwhile, Andy's almost upset of the week. The Arizona Cardinals, just want to remind everybody that that's what the call was. All they have to do is cover a 7-point spread. That is possible. The Commanders should beat the Arizona Cardinals handily. Does that involve, a lot of early Dotson? Can the Cardinals keep up at all? Dotson's in such a good spot over what Mike Evans is. Oh man. I am going to play Dotson. That's just going to, yep, my rankings have Dotson ahead, so I'm going to stick with that process. And if I need a 3-touchdown, 200-yard game, then I'm going to go with Mike Evans. But otherwise, I'm going to go with Dotson.
Okay, what about Dotson or Tyler Lockett?
Oh, what? Come on.
Hey, the people are asking.
This is my guy versus my guy crime. What are you doing to me over here? Tyler Lockett. I mean, Tyler Lockett is – the Rams are very, very beatable in the secondary, at least right now. And Tyler Lockett is just – he's the guy. Let's give JSN some time to acclimate. Will he be – he's going to play. That was all of our reports, and I haven't heard anything to the contrary. But let's give JSN some time. It wouldn't shock me if he is on a snap count. So I lean that I'm going to go with Tyler Lockett over Dotson.
All right. And are you starting either Deontay Johnson or Drake London over Jahan Dotson?
No. No. That's wild. That's a wild one. What was the second? Deontay or London?
Drake London.
Because London was almost certainly drafted before Jahan Dotson. Deontay, borderline. They were probably right around the same time. So that's pretty wild to already in week 1 be looking at that. But that's kind of what Jahan Dotson has been this whole offseason. That's part of why we liked him so much, because the ADP was so good. Andrew Holloway is strolling into the studio. I don't know if we can get him on a microphone or not. Andy, the question that we are being asked, I'll ask it to you, because I think they were both my guys for you. Jahan Dotson this week or Mike Evans. I think you have to hold to talk because of the way that.
I don't know. Oh, there it goes.
Oh, hey, there he is.
No wonder Brooks can never hit that button right. What's going on, everybody? What's the question?
Mike Evans or Jahan Dotson?
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
I'll take Dotson.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's where.
This week with McLaurin, he could go out 3 plays into the game. Who knows?
Yeah. I didn't even factor that in, but yes,
Super regret walking in this room.
Dude, you're here to work, brother. You're here to work. All right. Is anybody else trending?
Yeah, so we'll actually transition into the next trending player by saying Jahan Dotson in the flex or Raheem Mostert.
Oh gosh, I'm still going to take Jahan Dotson. Andy loves Raheem Mostert. Raheem Mostert is, I've mentioned, he's a great play this week, but it wouldn't surprise me. Again, I was talking about Savon Ahmed. It wouldn't surprise me if Mostert has 14 carries and Ahmed's at 10. And the offense runs through the wide receivers. That's the likelihood of the touchdowns going to the wide receivers, I think, is so much higher for the Miami guys than the running backs. So that's why I lean with Dotson. Just give me a couple of those.
I got breaking news for you.
What's that?
A desperate Jason Moore just made a dynasty trade.
What?
He traded a second rounder for Isaiah Likely.
Yeah, it's because he's scared of me. He's scared of me. All right,
Wait, are you playing him?
Yeah.
Oh, so he traded a second just to get Likely.
What a dummy. All right, just to lose to me and Alexander Madison. What's next?
All right, we're going to run through some Raheem Mostert or real quick, and then we'll get to the people. We got James Conner, Cam Akers, and Khalil Herbert.
James Conner, Khalil Herbert, and who?
Cam Akers.
Cam Akers. I would play.
I'm sorry, Cameron.
Cameron, thank you. Of course, the Cameron. I would play. I think I'd play Mostert over all of them. Yeah, I would play. I think I would play Mostert over all those guys. So I need to update my rankings to make sure it reflects that. Is that it for trending players? Is it to the people now?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Stardom, set 'em.
All right, we have. Oh, this is interesting. Week 1, everybody. Matthew wants to know Ramondre Stevenson or Jamal Williams, which I didn't bring it up because as of right now, it doesn't feel like it's a big concern, but little bit rain in the New England Patriots game is to be expected. I would play. Oh my gosh, I would have to play Ramondre. I can't get myself to. Jamal Williams is a good play, but it's week 1. I'm going to take the talent of my guys. I understand the little bit of the scare that we had because of him missing practice time, but they said it was a stomach bug, so I'm gonna keep with that. Let's see. Simon wants to know Taysom Hill or Juwan Johnson. It wouldn't surprise me, honestly, if Taysom Hill ends this game getting he's probably the backup running back this week.
We just had Betsy say that he sprinkled in a little 2-touchdown Taysom Hill bet moments ago.
I honestly do not hate it. We're all oh, it's going to be Jamal alone, and then it'll be Taysom Hill. There's the one getting the rushing touchdowns, but I'm playing Juwan Johnson over Taysom, unless you just want to, if you really want to feel something in week 1, go ahead and play Taysom Hill. Mr. Sonic says Hollywood or Gabe the Babe in a PPR. I will play. I'm going to play Gabe Davis in that situation. I'll let Hollywood and his brand new quarterback and the terrible matchup sit on my bench. And if I'm wrong about what the Cardinals can do this week, then I feel great moving on to next week. But Gabe Davis, that's the situation for me. Matthew wants to know, PPR. J.K. Dobbins or Calvin Ridley? That is a brutal question. I think the full PPR pushes me to be Calvin Ridley in that situation. But congratulations for your team that you're having to actually make that decision. That's pretty wild. We got Ryan wants to know Gibbs season, so Antonio Gibson or Evans. I assume this is a Mike Evans, and that would be an easy Mike Evans answer for me. Tanny 24, a little bit more difficult here though. Cortland Sutton or Van Jefferson. Van Jefferson presumes to be the number one for the Los Angeles Rams. Probably going to see a negative game script. Should have some good targets. Cortland Sutton he's at home, gets to take on the Raiders. I think that do you guys know when is the Rams game? Is that an afternoon game?
Yeah, the Rams game is afternoon.
Okay.
Yeah, and I have a follow-up on Mr. Van Jefferson.
Okay, so you can at least have the time to see if Jerry Jeudy is going to be out. If Jerry Jeudy is out, then that's easy. I'll go Cortland Sutton. If Jerry Jeudy ends up being active for the afternoon, I lean. I've been so hurt by Cortland Sutton. I lean Van Jefferson if Jerry Jeudy surprises us and he's active. And follow-up from Andrew Holloway.
The follow-up is Van Jefferson's in the afternoon, but we just got news that Rashad Penny might be a healthy scratch.
Right.
And so Kenny Gainwell in the flex.
Oh, man.
Or Van Jefferson against the secondary you said maybe improved.
Yeah. Man, if Rashad Penny is in fact the health, because that game that's a night game, right?
Both are afternoon.
Yeah, or afternoon. I'm sorry. I would go. Man, I think I'd go Van Jefferson in that situation.
Van Gainwell.
Yeah, can I combine them both? I know that Van is the number one. Maybe it's Higbee. Maybe Tyler Higbee sees 10-plus targets in that matchup, and Van Jefferson just continues to be the deep role, and he only sees 4 to 5 targets. But the Eagles situation, if you can avoid it for a week, because if Rashad Penny is inactive, I mean, is DeAndre Swift 70%? Is DeAndre Swift 20%? I'd prefer to let that shake out where I feel more confident knowing at least Van Jefferson's going to be on the field for the majority of the game.
What if it was 50-50 Gainwell-Swift? Because I think there's a chance that that's what it actually ends up being. Boston Scott maybe goal line.
Yeah, you're saying who's more valuable?
I guess just what's the fantasy outlook if those – because the Philly guy that I talked to this past week, remember I was telling you how it was going to break down? He followed up with me and said – one of the wrinkles we're seeing in Philadelphia is DeAndre Swift lining up as a wide receiver a ton.
Right.
Like actually outside. So if it was Swift, Gainwell, if that was our moving forward Philly.
It's Swift.
It would be Swift.
Yeah, as much as I want to continue the bit of hating DeAndre Swift because of everything that he did to me last year, he's an explosive, talented player. Kenny Gainwell, I think, is far more reliable. And especially with injuries and things, DeAndre Swift, his body doesn't seem to want to play in the NFL. I think that's more of why the Lions got rid of him. And trying to make him do things that he's not actually good at. It's like it reminds me a lot of Antonio Gibson in Washington, who I think has been egregiously misused for his skill set. DeAndre Swift is not a between the tackles runner. I mean, I know he's designated as a running back, but it's like that's not how you should be playing him. You should be
So does that mean it'll
using
be
him as a wide receiver.
Gainwell will be between the tackles?
I think it ends up that way. But again, receiving work, touchdowns. That's what we want from these running backs. So Swift is probably more valuable.
Let me throw a PSA out there real quick because I have never seen our Twitter, like individual questions coming in, tagging us as fiery as the desperation in week 1 right now.
Yep.
Please remember we have a start-sit tool on the website and the rankings because there's no way to get back to every single person.
Yeah.
I'm trying to fire a few answers off, but, week 1 is tough. I'm sure you said that at the top of the I was driving in and I tuned in, but it's the toughest week because there's going to be a lot of defensive turnover.
Yeah, we don't have the information.
Yeah, so I'd say start your studs, the guys you played. When you have those tough decisions, I've seen a lot of the Isaiah Likely right? Isaiah Likely or Higbee, Isaiah Likely or Njoku. even then, what are you doing with Likely? Are you putting him in above the guys you drafted to be your tight end?
No, we kind of ran through a bunch of names. Like, we got a Freiermuth or Likely, and I'm like, no, I mean, I drafted the Muth. Why do you pick it up Likely? So Isaiah Likely for me is, he's in as a top 10 play, but if I drafted someone, they're probably in over the potential of Isaiah Likely. Couple more quick questions before we shut this thing down. We got John wants to know Javonte Williams or Khalil Herbert, full PPR. That one's easily Javonte Williams. I mean, full PPR pushes that up. He should catch 3+ passes where we just don't know if Herbert's going to have that happen or not. Ooh, Brendan, an interesting one. A stash question. Sean Tucker, Evan Hull, or Kenneth Gainwell? It's Kenneth Gainwell. I love the stash of Sean Tucker. You had Keyshawn Vaughn was, not surprisingly, but he was inactive, and Sean Tucker's the number 2 guy for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But Kenneth Gainwell, the reports that we got out of Eagles camp were it might end up being Gainwell. Again, we aren't sure yet.
The Gainwell Van Jefferson question was very personal.
I figured
and
it was.
They're both afternoon, and so in some ways you can pay attention to the morning games.
Right.
In those situations with Gainwell, and then get some clarity about whether Penny's an official.
Yep.
Scratch.
The old late swap.
The late swap, because
if you're playing DFS.
I mean, would you say Van Jefferson is the higher ceiling?
Yes.
See, that's my view too. So if I had a lead, maybe I'd play Gainwell.
Sure.
Let's make this morning about my team.
We are. Mario wants to know Zay Flowers or Hollywood Brown. I would play Zay Flowers. I'd start the rookie and just hold.
Cardinals are going to win, though. You forgot.
No, they're going to almost upset the Commanders. Almost. Couple more quick questions. Likely or Kincaid in a full PPR? That is one where I would play Likely. I know that you drafted Kincaid, but the drafting of Kincaid has been, sometimes you grabbed another backup option, and I would go with that one. Let's see. We got someone said Nasty Boy, so I'm answering it. Disfat says Nasty Boy start sit. Roshan Johnson or Savon Ahmed. That is Ahmed. Please put him in there. Harrison says Mostert or Walker. Oh, brother. Kenneth Walker was removed. Like when we brought up his groin injury, we said we don't have the information with practice, and then he practiced in full. So I'm going to play Walker. I'm going to play the younger guy, the younger, more explosive athlete. And then last question we'll get out on this one. IV Mob says Higgins or Dotson in a PPR. Hoofda. That one is very tough.
I think you just stay with Higgins, don't you?
Yes, I would. Yeah, I drafted Higgins before Dotson. I'm not going to mess around with that in week 1. So that is going to do it for this week's edition of Sunday Live. For special co-host Andrew Holloway, it's me, your boy, Mike the Fantasy Hitman Wright. Again, thefantasyfootballers.com. The rankings are there. We're going to get back in the lab, tweak them to make sure they are where we need them to be. We wish you nothing but the best. We wish your enemies nothing but the worst. And remember, keep it beautiful. And this is what we do. We go, mwah! Goodbye, everybody.